Alright guys, we took a little bit of a break, but now we're ready to jump back into it. And the first movie we're going to be reviewing today is Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Feels like it was just yesterday that the first one came out, back in 2012. But here we are, the final chapter of the series.
So in Mockingjay Part 2, Katniss must bring together an army against President Stowe, while all she holds dear hangs in the balance.
So the first thing that comes to mind is that, did this really have to be 2 films?
Absolutely not. It should have been just one film.
One massive 2 hours and 45 minute film. I would have been down with that. Because I felt like with this one and the last one, there's like a lot of slow moments in this movie. And like, I understand that sometimes it's kind of cool to take a step back and like reflect on what's happening, or when they have this giant scene and then take some downtime. But for your final film, I kind of want it to be really fast-paced and high energy and be like really intense.
Well, you know why they make it into Part 1 and Part 2? Because they want to expand their franchise and make a profit off of it.
Obviously, and when it comes down to this, it's all about making that money. And I mean, ever since Twilight did it, it feels like every single young adult film is breaking their films apart. But I have to say that the Hunger Games series, to me, has been the best and the most serious when it comes to quality of film. I feel like almost that it's for a different audience that these movies are made for than the young adult. So when this movie's not dealing with this downtime, though, there's some pretty awesome action sequences that are in this film.
Yeah, definitely. Towards the ending of this film, there was an awesome action scene. I can't spoil it, though, but it was amazing.
Yeah, I also really wanted to highlight there's a sequence in the sewer. Now, it does feel out of place, and it almost plays like a horror movie scene, but I thought it was really cool and fast-paced and intense, and that's what I wanted more of from this film. Now, I thought that there's some jarring moments in the final 30 minutes, or like decisions that are made, or the way the characters react, or how like some of the characters kind of like just disappeared in the cracks, like Effie and Haymitch. I mean, it would have been nice to see them way more in this film.
And this movie was really dark. I noticed there wasn't as much humor in it as
not at all
the previous ones.
Well, that's also part of the reason, because those characters that we just mentioned are missing from this film for a good portion of it. But I mean, it doesn't let up. It's very grim. It's very like odds are not in their favor. That's the saying. But they try to give you a happy ending, but for me it worked. You said it did not.
I wasn't a fan of the ending. I'm sorry. I do love the Hunger Games, but I'm not going to give it credit for it being like, it should have been better. It deserved to be better.
I agree. I mean, I feel like this film, being the final chapter, was actually kind of one of the weaker installments. I mean, I think that I enjoyed the previous 3 entries way more than I did this film. This one, I mean, they have a point and an agenda, and that's what they're going for, but I just thought that the way they get there and some of the scenes and scenarios doesn't work so much. I mean, the twist, I didn't read the books, but I could see them coming a mile away, so that didn't really work for me. Yeah. And I was unsatisfied with some of the character deaths when I wanted it to be someone else, or like, I thought it had way more power to it.
And can we just talk about how Jennifer Lawrence did an incredible emotional performance of this movie?
If one thing's been throughout and has been on point, has been Jennifer Lawrence's acting. She has been the standout actress in this, and she is just phenomenal. And I liked how in this film in particular, like, she really could like hammed it up and like been really emotional. But you can tell, and by just like watching her acting and what she's doing, that this character has been through it. She's been through hell. She can't even carry those emotions right now. I mean, she's kind of bleak, and it's rough, and she's had a rough life, and she does do a stellar job. If you like the previous entries, I really do think that you'll end up enjoying this film, because I still had fun with this movie.
To snow!
I left the theater feeling pretty satisfied with the conclusion of this franchise. I thought that the acting from Jennifer Lawrence has always been top-notch, and her supporting cast is very good in this. I did not like some of the decisions that I made in this film, and I thought that it was kind of a shame for this film to be a little bit boring at times when you're dealing with such high stakes that I really didn't feel, especially when the stakes of the characters that did die didn't really match up for me and didn't really get to feel that weight. But I still enjoyed it. There's some great action scenes in there. It's beautiful to look at, especially some of these segments, and the sound in it is also really well done. I'm going to give The Hunger Games 7.7 reels out of 10.
My biggest issue with this movie was it was a tedious 1.5 hour long of absolutely nothing happening. It started out painfully slow and rushed when it started to matter. Now, I'm not completely bashing this movie. I thought the acting was fantastic in this. It did leave me a little unsatisfied, and for that, I have to give this 7 out of 10 reels.
And this has been our review of The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
And if you like this review, please like and subscribe down below.
This is The Real Report. Thank you for watching.